Assalamu alaikum, adab, hello, and welcome to DewaneZahra Ek Pyali Chai. He is Pakistan's leading entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and CEO. He's chairman and founder of Naseeb Networks Inc., leading job recruitment platform Rosie.pk, Pinja Mobile Wallet, Project Pakistan, and Easy Tickets. Forbes has listed him as one of the top 10 businessmen under 50. Monis Rahman, a tech guru, has graciously agreed to have a cup of tea with me, Zara Hamid, a tech novice and founder of Diwane-Zahra, a platform for body positivity, inclusiveness, and diversity. Thank you so much for being here today, Munas. And I know that you have done thousands of interviews on your professional career and your contribution, but we are very grateful to have you here join us today at Diwane Zara.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Zara. It's a pleasure.
Munas, today we want to focus on, uh, your tech, you're a tech guru, but we want to focus on the secret spot really that you have been uh, doing when it comes to your physical transformation and your mental transformation and your fitness, which I think has a big role to play in your success, even when it comes to your work. I think not many people know about the reverse aging that Munis is going through. And as we watch him, he's getting younger and younger and looking really good in the process. So let's talk a little bit about that today in this platform.
Zara, I think throughout one's life, we're constantly transforming ourselves. The person you are today is not the person you were when you were, for example, 12 years old or 18 years old or 25 years old. In my case, even older. It's been a constant evolution. And I think as a human being, we realize certain things about ourselves, about our surroundings, about our ability to influence things, about our happiness and what makes us happy. And I think we get wiser because the things that we think make us happy early on in our kind of adulthood are certainly not the things that ultimately make us happy. And the realization has been that, food is something that in our culture we associate with pleasure, we associate with happiness. And whenever there is a festive occasion, we have the most fattening foods we can find.
Absolutely.
Puri ala, the kheer leke aao, and this is how we bond. And it's a great feeling. But the thing is that we don't realize that all of these things have a toll on us. It has a toll on our mind, because the food and mind are very interlinked. To think that, yeah, well, I ate something and I don't feel good in my body. Well, the thing is that it's also impacting your mind. And when your body is healthy and it's efficient, your mind also becomes efficient and your stress level goes way down. So, I found that I've got a pretty high performance lifestyle. I've got a very crazy schedule in terms of my work and things I do. I'm doing so many different things. I'm enjoying it tremendously. But I've gained a lot of weight over time because I sit behind a computer and I work. And what I found was that, I was not feeling good. I wasn't feeling good about myself. I wasn't feeling good in terms of my energy level. From a mental perspective, I had a lot of stress. And I had a back pain. I actually slipped a disc on my lower back, and I was in bed, and I was like, "Kya bakwas hai?" At this age, I'm like bedridden. I'm feeling really
How old were you?
unhealthy.
This was essentially a turning point in your life physically. How old were you when this happened? Had you already started Naseeb and you were already working? And how old were you when this happened?
This was 2 years ago. This was just 2 years ago. So I feel like I lost a decade of my life because I discovered how important health was to my success as a professional and my happiness as a human being.
Hmm.
And so what had happened was I found myself working very hard, which I enjoy doing, but I'd gained a lot of weight. And then I had a slip disc, and then I was in bed, and people told me, in fact, doctor said, okay, you have to adjust your lifestyle now. अब आपका ये हो गया है, अब ये मतलब एक चीज़ है, हकीकत है, this is a part of who you are. Stop playing squash, stop doing this, up exercise bhi aaram aaram se kiya kare, ye kiya kare. I said, that's not life. I can't live like this. So what I did was I hired a therapist. I hired a trainer. I said, I'm going to work out at home. I bought a bench from online, and then I bought some dumbbells and I bought a barbell. Halki pulki cheezein liye, but the things I've bought, I can do every single exercise. I don't need a gym. My trainer comes exactly on times, 3 days a week. Therapist came for 2 weeks. My back started feeling good. Then I started exercising. Just when exercise started, I found that my back was getting better and better and better. And all of these treatments that the doctors were saying, ye karo, wo karo, it all became a non-issue. I used to take 12 pills every morning, including for my heart, my cholesterol, my indigestion, acidity, and vitamin D. And so I was just taking all of these pills, and this is the way I was maintaining myself. The moment I started exercising and I got fit, and I actually lost 42 kgs over the last 2 years. That's 42
Wow.
kgs. And I'm feeling energetic and healthy and
It's a whole
strong.
person.
And it's a new me. My mind is feeling much stronger, much healthier. I'm able to handle, stress in a much more kind of controlled way. So I'm super happy about that. It's very hard to phase me now in terms of, so all of these things added up. And as I started to lose weight, I started to eat healthy. I changed what I ate. I changed my whole relationship with food. In our culture, I think the relationship we have with food is a very unhealthy one, and it's not sustainable as we get older. And that's why you see most of our people, after they cross 40, they look like they're 60 and then they look like they're 80. So we age very quickly, and it's really because of our exercise and our diet. And that causes so many other problems. You have diabetes, you have heart issues, you have this issue and that issue. It just spirals. And what the doctors don't tell you, and I wish they did tell you, and I wish they knew, I think a lot of them don't even truly realize, they give you a tablet to fix a problem you're having, and you just take that tablet and the problem gets worse, and you take some more of the tablet and you can stabilize and you've got a long life. Well, the real fix is to get in shape, to eat right, to exercise. Most of these problems go away. It's not saying every problem. Of course, there are ailments that we need to be treated for. But this whole aging process, the kind of ailments we start to get with age, a lot of them can be overcome or may never even happen if we have a fit lifestyle.
Reversed. They could be.
And so, and this whole thing, it's there's a relationship between your body, your mind, your food, basically how you feel about yourself. Self-esteem shows. When you talk to somebody, you can understand how good they feel about themselves. And if you're not feeling good about yourself, it's very hard to project what you need to project in order to make an influence, in order to kind of have positive energy around you. So I wish I discovered this a decade earlier, because I was very skinny as a child, even as a young man. And the exercises, I was very athletic, I was very sporty, I was playing basketball, I was playing squash. Itni exercise ho jati thi, I had a metabolism rate that was high. So I could eat anything. I could have donuts and hamburgers and nothing, and I'd still stay really fit. Then a time comes, when you cross 30, all of a sudden things slow down. It catches up with you ridiculously fast, and you're like, I'm doing the same thing I used to do. Why, what's happening? Well, because our body's changing. So if we don't change our lifestyle in the same way, we're going to see our health start to slide down.
So how do you, Monis, like with all this regime that you've put into place with your trainer, first with your therapist and then with the trainer, how do you stay consistent, and how do you, stay regular in this practice? Because I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. They'll start off with all these good intentions, and then 2 weeks down the lane, they've stopped exercising. How have you stayed with the program for 2 years?
Well, Zahra, that was my story. I had joined every gym in Lahore, and I'd keep blaming the gym. Yaar, main isliye nahi ja raha, ye dur hai, ya ye iski matlab ye achhi nahi hai, to wo hai. So if I join this new gym, this is a really nice gym, maybe I'll work out more. So I think I joined all the gyms in Lahore. Wohi wali baat thi ki 2 hafte I would go exercise karta tha. Eventually I'd lose interest, or I didn't have the willpower, and I'd stop. So I never made any progress, and I'd stay, quite overweight. And I was like, yaar, I worked out for 2 weeks, kuch hua nahi hai. Reality is, you have to work out like very consistently for 1 month, and you start to see the results maybe after a month and a half. That's when you will first visually see ki yaar kuch change aa raha hai. But if we do it for a week and you say kuch nahi hua, Well, because the impact of that week is going to come actually 3 weeks later. So there's a consistency is the most important thing, to be consistent. But we lose hope because we don't get that positive reinforcement from what we see until like a month later. And it takes a very long-term view to be able to wait a month. And that month, a lot of us have just quit. But once you start to see the results, so in other words, 1.5 months, chup karke, start eating better, start exercising. Don't look in the mirror. Don't worry about anything. Just be consistent and try to get your body in a condition where you can truly exercise, right? When you first start exercising, your muscles aren't formed well and you're doing some weird kind of, you're actually hurting yourself. So it takes a month just to get your body toned enough where you can exercise so the exercise helps you. So that's an overhead you have to pay. And you have to basically just close your eyes and say, I'm not going to demand any results from myself until a month and a half later. But I promise month and a half, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So that's a commitment I think you have to make. And once you make that commitment in your mind and you figure out how your body responds, you get better at understanding what you need to be doing and how you need to be doing. And I think that's why trainer is very helpful. But commitment is the biggest thing you can do. Now, my problem with commitment was going to the gym, physically having to pack my shoes bhul gaya, shirt, clean shoes, clean shorts. Then going in the gym, andar jao in the locker, bring your bag with you, change karo, wear your clothes, then go out, start exercising, then change back, then hop in the car, then drive home. 3 hours to aram se aapke wipe out ho jate hain, right? And the workout that I do now lasts between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, 3 days a week. Super convenient. My trainer comes to my house 3 days a week. We start hitting it, boom, we get going. I'm done. And it's consistent. And my diet now, I understand because now I've really gone to the bottom in terms of, fat level. And only when you go down to that kind of level where body fat's very low, then you can really figure out what foods do what to your body, because you're at a base level that's low. You can eat something and the next day see what happened to your body. Oh, I'm feeling this way. See what's happening to your energy level. There's a constant experimentation, but you just have to have blind faith at first. It's going to work. And for a month and a half, find out a diet that works for you. That's good. You can't do this without changing how you eat. And then exercise. And after a month and a half, you'll start learning. You'll get more into it and more excited and motivated, and then it just spirals. And then being consistent with it is also key. So it's just been such an amazing experience. In my mind, it's been amazing. I really felt the impact of it. For my strength, I just feel strong. I can do things with my body I couldn't do before. The pull-ups, I can keep going. The push-ups, you can make me do 100 push-ups. I can do. So when you have that, you just your energy level goes up. There's just a lot of amazing things that happens along with being fit.
And what advice would you give to people who are struggling with body positivity? Because, a lot of people even they feel like no matter where they are, sometimes they could be at ideal weights even. And they don't feel good about themselves, or they have low self-esteem. Some people obviously don't feel good because they have the weight and they need to lose that weight. But then there are people who are slim, but they still feel that they want to change things about themselves, or they don't like themselves. How do you stay in a positive space when it comes to your body and your spirit and your mind?
Yeah, मेरे तो ख्याल है वो empowerment चाहती है. I went for a long time feeling very unhappy about how I looked, my body, being overweight. In the morning, you wake up and you have your hand on your stomach, you go in the shower and you look at yourself. I didn't feel good. And it's because as a young man, I was very fit and athletic. And then I just said, yeah, ye kya ho gaya? How did I let this happen to myself? That's why I wasn't feeling good. Everybody has a different reason for not feeling good. But my reason, the way to get back was to understand why I was unhappy, why this image of myself and was not consistent with the image I wanted to have of myself and what made me feel good. And then I became empowered to fix it myself, and I saw those changes happening. And there's no better feeling if you're unhappy about something and you take a certain action, you start seeing that action have an impact on what you're doing. That's a source of great happiness. And then when you transform, you said, look, I was unhappy because of this. Now are you happy? In my case, I'm happy, but now I'm even more ambitious. Now I'm like, I want a six pack. I want to do a handstand. I want to do this. So, you just keep going to a new kind of level, but it's not the same reason. It started off with unhappiness. Now it's just ambition. It's just a feeling of empowerment, and I can do it. If I lost 42 kgs in 2 years, and now I'm starting to get a six pack, and in the next 3 weeks I should be there, I can do anything. So you're doing things that you didn't think were possible, and that's super empowering. And the fact is, you had the ability to do all of those things all along. I just happened to realize it now. I could have done it 5 years ago. I could have done it 8 years, 12 years ago. I could have done it. It's the same me. But I finally took the initiative and I made the commitment. And I think this comes with maturity. I'm not as impatient as I used to be. I'm not as short-term as I used to be. I have a long-term view. I'm more patient. I give things time. And consistency is something that I think I have developed. It's a tremendous amount of willpower, but that comes over time. And if you have a goal in mind, and you believe you can achieve it, you will achieve it. So you have to believe you will achieve it, and you have to be dedicated and committed. Now, despite that, there are lots of sources of unhappiness. I think the first thing to understand is if you have a negative body image, what is it that's making you unhappy? And then you address it. Not all things can be fixed. I've got this massive nose, I can't do exercise to fix my nose, but I've learned to love it. So you learn to love things about yourself. But then, so I think you have to be kind to yourself. You really have to be compassionate with yourself. You can't be too hard on yourself. You need to love yourself.
That's precisely what we want to promote on this platform, which is body kindness. Because I think it's very important not to just celebrate diversity, but also to celebrate being body kind. I think we're not very kind to ourselves. I think we have our inner critic is very high for most people, and that's one of the reasons they feel sad, And I think exercise is one of the best ways to also, change that mindset. Because the minute you start exercising, especially, how have you managed in this time of Corona, Monis?
Yeah, dekho, when Corona started, I had my trainer, he was coming, but then my diet just went, because we're making things every day. The kids are home, I'm home, my wife, and we're experimenting. Bread har roz ho rahi thi bake, and it would come garam loaf with like butter, and you would just slice that, and so it was delicious. Then we had brownies and we had cakes, and then I love to cook. I've been making all kinds of great food, but so gained a lot of weight during the lockdown. And then again, I said, yaar, ye kya ho gaya? I was doing so good. What happened? And then I went into another spurt, and now, I'm feeling great again. So it's a constant cycle. But, I want to talk a little bit about this, be kind to you, because there are two sides of it. And when you are kind to yourself, it's like being kind to your children. You have to be kind, but you have to also be strict with yourself. Right? You can't just be, oh, koi nahi yaar, khalo brownie, I love you, khalo brownie, khalo makkan yaar, koi baat nahi, you're great, you're beautiful, it's okay, right? So I could do that as well. That's being kind to myself, but I know I can do better. I know myself, right? I know कि यार अगर मैं इधर तक आ जाऊं, for me that's really good, and I've shown the effort and the initiative. So I think it's a mixture of being kind and compassionate to yourself, with also making sure you set the bar at the level that it needs to be for you to be happy. Because I'm the kind of person that likes to excel in everything I do, and if I'm not excelling, I'm feeling bad about it. But when I excel, I compare it to myself. So I'm competing with myself all the time. And when I compete with myself, if I feel like I'm not doing a good job against myself, then I get upset. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. They've got a different kind of body, brain, chemistry, environment, whatever. And of course, I get inspired by people, but ultimately, I need to set the benchmark for myself.
Yes.
In what's reasonable and so I need to push myself. And when you push yourself, you can't just use the crutch of kindness, saying, I'm not going to push myself because I want to be kind to myself. You need to be kind while you push yourself. And I think we're always growing. And if we're not always improving and making progress in wherever we're trying to do, I think unhappiness will start to creep in. If you just stay at a status quo and say, bas main khush hu, bas ye, I don't think my nature, and I don't know a lot of people, I need to keep making progress. I need to keep moving forward. And that is a source of great
So
with
what's the
happiness.
what's the future game plan for you? Like, I know you just did you did a challenge, a 6-day ab challenge, which was your a self challenge that you did.
6 week challenge. जी, 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 जी. Six
Huh.
pack
So
in
we
6 weeks.
saw your
Self-
yeah six. So how do you do that? And now what's next? What are you going to be doing next?
You know, I'll tell you, I just think, you know, every time I do these things, I realize that I can do so much more. So you reach a plateau, you set an aggressive goal for yourself. And in my case, it was I want 6 packs in 6 weeks. Because even when I was young, I said, yeah, I wish I had 6 packs. I could never get 6 packs. Now I'm almost there. But you set that goal and you say, I never thought I could do this. At this age, I never thought I could get a 6 pack and I could get lean, I could get stronger. But so I never thought I would lose 42 kg and transform from somebody who was extremely unhealthy and overweight and in pain all over the body and not feeling good to a person who's 42 kg lighter. And that 42 kg loss happened in a year. I didn't think I could do that. But once I did it, I said I can do so much more. Ab main idhar tak aa gaya hu. This was hard. Ab main to idhar tak jaunga. And once you hit that, then you're like, yaar, I can do so much more. तो फिर एक और goal होता है, एक और, do I have a set goal right now? Not really. I want this 6 pack and I want to be able to do a handstand, right? And once I get there, yeah, I'll
Those are
probably
good
do a 6
goals. Good goals to have.
oh, उसके बाद I want something else. You know, I'm sure I'll get more and more. Yeah, मुझे ये भी चाहिए, मुझे वो भी चाहिए. And this is kind of the nature of progress because you reach a certain kind of a level, you know, in terms of push-ups. I couldn't do 3 or 4 push-ups when I started. Now I can do 100 push-ups and it's not hard. But now that
And
I'm
you're
doing
doing it
100,
on and you're doing it on vacation also, which I was most impressed कि आप vacation के ऊपर भी exercise कर रहे हैं.
well, because you can't do the normal exercise, so you have to use your body weight and do something with your body weight to kind of stay fit and burn the calories. But I think, you know, incrementally, there are always more. So if you ask me what's next, I'll tell you the immediate challenge, and then I'll make another challenge. And this is not just for my health and exercise. This is for my business, my work too. You know, I think it's exactly the same theme going on when I work, and I've got the passion for creating something, for scaling something, for making it a success, for solving a complex problem that hasn't been solved before. It's that same passion there that's driving me here. And these two passions are now completely overlapping because I think this has given me a superpower in terms of the health and, you know, fitness. I just have a superpower now. I feel I can do so much more. This impacts me directly when I come back to business. It impacts me when I come back to my personal life. So ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, I think they're interrelated. If I could say anything to anybody, you know, it's not about you getting a 6 pack. It's not about you being skinny. It's about you having a benchmark for yourself and putting in the maximum energy and effort you can do. So you say, yes, I worked damn hard at this and I've made progress. And you will definitely make progress. I'm not going to be able to fix my nose, right? Jo naak hai Allah ne diya, ye diya, unless I go and get like a surgery done, which I have no intention to doing. But there's certain things I can fix. And when I make progress on those, then I'm kind to myself about other things I may not be super thrilled about. And now there's happiness. Then you have the opportunity to have the compassion because आपने अच्छा काम किया, आपने goal बनाया, आपने कुछ achieve किया, आपने जान लगाई, आपने effort लगाई है. You didn't just sit back and say कि नहीं हो सकता. You played the game and you played hard. You played to be the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. If you look at the, you know, imagine a world where there are a million me all over space and planets, you know, in the universe. The same me born on this planet, in this country, in this country. And I say, of all the me's out there, this one is going to be the best. This one's going to be the best. I am going to do whatever's in my power to take what God gave me and make the best of it, intellectually, personally, emotionally, the things I can do for other people. I want to be the best version, the best copy of me that exists anywhere. And that's a very reasonable goal. That's a fair goal. And if you achieve that goal or you start to work on that journey, happiness will follow. And the biggest cure for when you're feeling down and depression is exercise. You can pop all the pills you want. You can go and see, you know, professionals to help you. I'm not saying na kare, please kare. There's a role for everything. But उससे पहले कि आप वो जाके करें, आप जो आपके अपने इख्तियार में वो तो करें ना पहले.
बिल्कुल.
Are you really putting an effort to be the best version of yourself? Have you? And if you haven't, then you should be, because that's completely in your hands.
Thank you so much, Monis, because you are so inspiring. You're such an inspiring speaker. I think not just for me, I'm inspired by you, but I think you'll be inspiring for all the people who listen to this talk. And you are so humble about it, and you are so gracious about it. And I think that is why there is such great success when it comes to you, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your personal life, and now when it comes to your physical health. So we wish you the very, very best. And we want to thank you so much for being on this platform and for sharing all your wisdom and your story with us, which so much fervor and enthusiasm. It has been really wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Zara, and I'm very honored that you had me on your show.
Thank you, Munas. Take care
Okay,
and thank you.
take care.
Khuda
Assalamu alaikum.
Hafiz.